How's it going? Kofi Nartey, celebrity and luxury real estate specialist. So I got a question based on a listing that I recently obtained. I recently got my first $60 million listing. So we've been doing a lot of advertising around it. We just came out on the DuPont registry cover, which is amazing exposure for the property and for our team. But I also used to wonder, how the hell are people getting these size listings? So I'm gonna share at least a few of the steps that I went through to get the listing. First, it started with even just having a brand, building a brand. The owner's assistant found me online based on the brand and the brand presence we had built online around celebrity and luxury real estate. And so they reached out to me, which was a great call to get, obviously, but it was based on what they saw online, our value proposition, our outreach, our marketing, the really professional nature of our website. Shout out to Agent Image. Thanks for that. But all of these things helped us present our brand. When I made that contact, the next thing was visiting the property. And for this property, I had to fly up there. So it took a little bit of an investment. I hopped on a flight, I went to see the property, and it wasn't even with the owner. It was with the groundskeeper, the estate manager, and the assistant. So I toured the property, had a chance to digest what it was, and it was an amazing, amazing property. And I started to formulate what the story of this property was gonna be. My next meeting was actually with the owner, not even at the house. I had to go on a 2-hour drive to go meet with the owner, who lived down in Orange County. So sat down with him, went over our whole marketing plan, but more importantly, just had a conversation. I had done some research on him as a person, so I understood his making, the way his mind worked as a business professional, and I wanted to lean into that, so that way, what we were presenting would resonate with him. And so we did. We had a great presentation, walked him through our thoughts on the property, how we work, what we would do with that property, but that was one of 3 conversations. When I left there, he wanted me to follow up with the marketing plan. And I was like, wait, I just gave you the marketing plan. But he wanted me to digest what he had shared with me about the estate and what motivated him to build it. And so I did, process that information. And the 3rd meeting was back at the property. So I had to hop on a flight again. Flew up to the property to meet with him, this time at the property. We walked the estate. We again just talked about the stories of the property, and a lot of our marketing, as I explained to agents and to our clients, is selling the story. Someone is not buying the property because of the size of the house or just the location. They're buying the lifestyle. And so those conversations were really to help me and help my team capture the lifestyle. The last piece of this equation for this listing was, do I need to bring on a co-listing agent? I've talked about this in some of the other videos and some of the other trainings that we've done. If you haven't sold something in a certain area, you might work with an agent who has. Same thing with price point. If you haven't sold something at a certain price point, maybe you work with an agent who has. Now, I've never sold a $60 million listing, and I'm always open to collaboration. But what I found as I reached out to other luxury agents is they were either too busy or weren't gonna put in the time necessary or be committed as I would be, because this is my first $60 million listing. So instead of, I don't mind doing 70% of the work, 75%, even having somebody only do 20-25%, and still sharing the commission 50-50. But I don't want to do 95% of the work and they do 5% of the work and we're sharing it 50-50. So I explained to the property owner, I said, look, I'm invested in this. This is something I'm going to take very seriously. I've flown up to meet with you twice. I have the whole story of the property. Here's what we're going to do. Here's the investment we're going to make. And the little, I think, difference maker too was I wore this watch. And I wore it in particular because in our first meeting, he had on a Breitling. This is a Breitling Super Avenger 2 with the white face. Some of you guys have seen the one I have with the black face. Yes, I am a Breitling fan. And he had his on with the white face. In our 3rd meeting though, he had on a what they call red gold. So Breitling does a Navitimer, which is a different Breitling with rose gold, but they refer to it as their red gold. And he noticed the watch because I wore this, and he said, oh, you're into Breitlings. And we spoke for 45 minutes about watches. And I think that was the last piece that endeared me to him. He gave me a handshake, he looked me in the eyes, and he said, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do an amazing job at it. And that was the vote of confidence. We signed contracts a week later, and next thing you know, we're marketing the $60 million listing. So it was a fun process. Every process is slightly different. We've done some amazing marketing around it that's caught the eyes of some high-level celebrities and high-net-worth individuals, and we will continue to share these stories with you. And please share your stories with us. It's the only way we're all gonna grow and get better. Thanks again, Kofi Nartey.